welcome back to another painting video. Today we're going to be painting the Guncannon for the Gundam Assemble miniatures game. This one is mostly red, as you can see by the picture, and he's laying on his stomach. So it's not going to be a very exciting video, I'm afraid, but we're going to get started. Yeah, let's do the red first, just because we're gonna have to do like browns and stuff on him for the, I mean not browns, but the the black, but this way we can be a little bit sloppy with the red and not have to worry about, you know, ruining everything. So he's a big boy. He's a big angry weapons platform. I mean, not as angry as the gun tank, which will be next week's video, but angry still. So we're just gonna get this painted. We're gonna do a couple thin coats on here. To get good even coverage. I still haven't decided yet on my Gundam if I'm going to be lightening him up or if I'm gonna leave him kind of dirty how we did last week. There is something to be said for clean and there is something to be said for dirty. And like I said, you don't have to paint them how I paint them, so you can do whatever you want. So, this is why we did the red first, because it's pretty messy and we want full coverage. You could just slap chop him and then throw like a Blood Angels red contrast paint on it and call it a day. But I'm trying not to use the contrast paints on these models, just because I think they can use a good painting, but if you want to use contrast paints, use them. Been playing a lot of the miniatures game, not the miniatures game, it's not out yet, the card game, and I'm having fun. What color are the thingies? They might have to do some research here in a second, because I have forgotten what color his vents are, and it's hard to tell when he's just sprawled out here what color something should be. So, but I know the most of it is red, so you can't go wrong with red, except on the face, because the face is white. Oh, it's not even touching there. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It can't be perfect every time. Just get in there, get all the spots. Want to get the little top piece here, get in there, because we'll get it later with black, so that we go over it with red right now is fine. It's not gonna hurt anything except the head. The head will be hurt if we paint the head, so be a little careful around the head. Okay, and let that dry for a second while I go look at a picture of the Guncannon from the front view. I want to say they're either white or yellow, but I don't know. Guncannon is yellow. See, I knew something. I don't know a whole lot, but I do have an okay instinct when it comes to Gundams and what colors they should be. all that. Oh god, there's a oh god, there's a cat here. Hello. Pleased to meet. He's just a really chatty boy. He is a chatty boy. So we just want to get this little area right here with red on his face. Hopefully you can see it. And then we will tack the second coat of red. Just try to get it decently thinned. We might have to do 3 coats. I'm not sure yet. Because we definitely don't want like brush strokes and stuff to be on here. And this brush has seen better days for sure. So we might have to do 3 coats. John, what are you eating, cardboard buddy? You scratching your gums? I heard somewhere that that's what they, like when they eat weird things, it's because they're itching their gums. But who really knows? Let's get those painted. Do you ever get like new brushes and then you're afraid to use them because you don't want them to end up how your other brushes are? I think that's kind of where I'm at right now. Because I have other brushes. You know, let's just bite the bullet here and chuck this guy. Put him off over here. I do have some new zeros and doubles. Oh no, did I get ones? Uh-oh, I might not have bought ones. I just might have bought zeros when I bought everything. What size is this one? This is a 0? No. They're also like super freaking long for some reason. And I don't really need that much, so I'm gonna break it off because it was way too long otherwise. It's probably gonna hit me later, but let me just trim it with this. But I've been playing a lot of the TCG, and I am really enjoying the TCG. So if you're hesitant to get the cheap TCG, I would recommend it if you're a Gundam fan, if you can get cards, because they're pretty hard to get right now, because the scalpers are out in force, which is like the same for every card game, I guess, but it just hurts more with this one since I've been like a Gundam fan forever, and I'm like, oh, come on, you don't even like Gundam, what are you doing? I guess this is how like Pokemon players feel, but I like Pokemon too, but I don't feel as bad for when it happens on Pokemon than I do on this game. Saw an article today though that the Gundam card game has exceeded the other card games that Bandai makes as the #1 card game for them right now, which is pretty cool. So it's over One Piece and Digimon and stuff like that. That's pretty nice to see. So hopefully we get some more Gundam stuff in America. I'm a big proponent of America getting more Gundam stuff. So you can see it's coming along. Still gonna need more coats though, for sure. For sure on that. But I mean, it fills out the video. It is like a little light green. Some of this stuff is green sometimes, like a really, like his shoulders and stuff, but you can kind of mix like a green with the black to get it, maybe to get the color that you want. So we're just gonna brush this guy, try to get a nice even coat when we can. See, that went on good. but then I feel like it's too runny and it gets a little gloppy in some spots. But I guess as the water dissolves, it looks better, maybe? I don't know. I'm new to this whole thinning paints thing. I'm not really a fan of it, if I'm being honest. I never really had bad results from putting it on before. I mean, I'm sure if you're a good painter and you go look back into my older videos, you could disagree. But yeah, see, let's just let that dry a lot more before I put more paint on it, because it's just gonna tear the paint away, which we do not want. Let's get some more water on our brush. Let's keep mixing it up here. It's very dry here where I'm at. And you say like, hey, why are you doing so much of this? Like, you're not gonna see a lot of this. And if you're gonna wash it with a black wash, it's gonna cover up a lot of this stuff. Yeah, you're right. See, I can see that's so wet still. So even if I try to put paint on it, it's gonna tear that paint. Like that. And you're like, then just stop painting it. You know. So for now, while that's drying, let's move to the black. Let's go to the basalt gray for our legs and arms and all that. But what we're gonna do is we are going to mix a little bit of green with it, just to give it a little tinge. We're gonna use this US olive drab color to mix it, to make it just a little bit greenish. Sorry about that. So I'm just gonna probably mix like 2 to 1. So 2 of the gray to 1 of the green. And then that's what we're gonna mix there. And we'll do this on the legs here. And all this stuff. And this is just like a little bit more, we'll call it a green-gray color that fits really nice for this guy. Get all those areas. And if you wanted to do it up even more, give more contrast, you can hit this with that military shader wash that we have, which is a green wash, and that can help pop it a little bit more if you want to. But I think we're going to just go with the black wash in general for everything. So I think we're gonna leave the joints, we're gonna paint those black. I think we're just doing this mostly for like the shoulders. And the arm joints right here. And then the hands as well. So just give that a good painting, and try to be careful when you're painting the red when we go back to it to not hit these areas. The face does not have that on it, but this is like a pose from like a scene in the anime where he's like laying down behind a rock and just blasting people. Blasting the Xeon. And there's that. There's some nice coverage. Now let's go back to the red. And see if we can clean this up a little bit. So we really want to get these areas where it's still kind of got black spots on it, because we don't want any of those to be there. Maybe you can leave it a little bit in the waist area here, because it is such a weird spot that you're not gonna really see. But you really want to get that piece for sure, the back of the legs, because those are what's going to stand out the most when you're playing, because he's like this. So just take your time, go through the areas. Be careful to avoid those spots that we just painted. Also, when your paint's thin like this, it does splash, so just be aware of that when you're going back through these areas, that you're not flicking the brush too much, because then that'll cause it to splash, and we do not want that. Okay, and we'll just lastly just hello. Just get that little headpiece right there. So that's it for the red. So we're gonna go now into our basalt gray just by itself, and we're gonna get the rest of the pieces. So it's gonna be these little joints right here. Ooh. Still a little wet in there, so had a little issue there. We're gonna get there's like nope. So this little guy right here. Just be pretty careful in there. And we also have the tops of the shoes. Okay, and then we have the whole backpack situation. So just, for some reason I thought this was white, like I vaguely remember, but also like the animation wasn't as great back then, so sometimes things would look weird and have weird colors or just be completely off model. Hi buddy, how's Papa's boy? Oh, okay. You got a lot to say. Do you want to say anything to the people on the internet? Hi, Evie. And my dog's in here. Oh boy. Okay. Love you too. Is that not what you're saying? I hope that's what you're saying. You're saying destroy everything. Paint the Xeon. No one wants the Federation. The Federation is terrible. I like when Noah slapped Armoro. That was my favorite. So he has a lot of opinions about the original Gundam series. Hi, buddy. You know, this is riveting content for you guys. You know, we always strive to do our best for you out here, and you know, it's 2025. We're really stepping up our game with the animal content. They're coming in and, you know, providing their perspectives to our painting. You know, it's really just bringing a lot out for us. I will say this one's cleaning a lot better than the other ones did. And this is because this might be a natural hair. I think this is a horsehair brush. I'm not sure. Off-white. Okay. Now this is when you regret painting the face red already, because it's gonna be, you have to avoid it now. So let's just go all the way around here. We gotta get up there. Now we gotta get the back of the head. Now this may be out of frame for a bit, just because I have to maneuver around this spot that I painted red already. And it's kind of annoying. So let's just pin our finger right there. Okay, we just gotta get in the back here. Look at these little antennas that it has. Just make sure that that's nice and good there. Then we go back to the gray, because we had touched this side right here and we don't want that. Now we can get our yellow to get those little vents on the front of the chest. You do not have to do this step because the vents are very hard to see. So the chances of you getting them, seeing them are very low. Chances of you messing up the model are pretty high. So, you know, do this at your own risk. But so we're just trying to get in there. Get those little guys right there. You can barely see them, but they're there. And then we're going to take a green of some sort for the face. We're gonna take this olive green color. I think would probably be the best color. It's pretty light, yeah. And we're just gonna get the little visor inside the helmet. This is gonna be a little bit easier than the Gundam because it's just a flat panel versus eyes that you have to drop. It's more like so GMs have this kind of visor. The GM is just like their normal grunt suits for the Earth Federation. So now it has like a little green visor face. So now, that's good. So now let's take let's get like a leathery brown for the rock that he's on, for his tactical rock. And then we're also gonna take some, not that one, probably like this monster brown as well, and kind of just do like a weird brush over the top of all of this. Just mix the two paints together and just be careful around the parts of the body. This is gonna be a 2-coat situation, if you can't already tell from how thin it's going on. But you can also just give it a coat with a different color as well, and just really get it, I mean, you don't have to get it that brown color. Just gotta get in there weird to get the... What are you doing, puppy? So we'll let that dry. While that's drying, we will take our black wash, known oil, for pretty much the whole thing, minus the rock that he's on right now, because it's drying. It wouldn't make sense to put it on there. Is this the brush that I used last time? Let's get a scraggly old brush here. And we're just gonna deposit the paint in there. You can like dab it on, you could brush it on with a brush, however you want to do it. Dabbing is working for me right now. I just don't want to scratch some of this paint away, because I don't know if it is dry, but you know, I don't trust it that much. Evie, what are you doing? Do you have to be at my feet right now? She says, yes, Papa. I need to sniff everything. I am the doggy. I do the sniffing. Just be careful when you hit... Hey, what are you doing? Just be careful when you hit the brown, because it'll get on your brush, and if you continue to go through the model, it will ruin your model like we did with our first one a little bit. It was getting all that paint everywhere, and you want to avoid that. So let's just carefully rotate this around. Try not to touch the wash. Evie, what are you eating? We just gotta get these little guns, these little blasters. Hey! Mama, you don't have to be here right now. Okay, and then for the face, we'll switch to a different brush just because I don't want to mess that up too bad. So let's just get this and then brush it into the face there, so we get all that nice definition. I'll show you in a second after I get all this. And the red as well. Okay. So you can see in the face, you can see all that definition now. And then we can put that away, because we don't need that no more. And then we'll go back to our brown paint. And get it brushed on here. And then while this is drying, before our last step, I'll show you how the Gundam kind of dried out, and give you some other tips while we wait. So let's just finish this right here. Okay, let's give that a second to dry. So here is the Gundam, how the Gundam turned out. I think it turned out pretty good. I kind of like the dirt. Now that we're sitting here longer and looking at it, I'm like, oh, I think it fits pretty good. Back there is a little weird. You can see that's where the red wasn't dry and we had hit it. but overall, not terrible. So what you want to do with these when they're dry, I like to seal my models, people don't. But for Gundam model people, they like to matte varnish them or like flat clear coat them. There's also a thing called a dull coat. That's what they mostly use. So if you want to hit all these with a dull coat when you're done, that'll give them more that like regular Gundam look that you see that other people have. And that's what I'm gonna do to all these. And it also protect the paint so that the paint won't chip off or anything like that or rub off as time goes by, because you're gonna be playing with these models if you want to. I mean, if you're not, you don't have to matte varnish them because you're not gonna be handling them, but if you're playing a miniature game, people are gonna touch them that aren't you, and they may, you know, not respect your paint as much as you would like. So just be aware of that. And then what we're gonna do here is we're gonna take this US Field Drab color, and we're gonna dry brush it over the rocks a little bit. So we're just gonna get a shitty brush that we don't care so much about. Ooh. Use the one that we use for our washes. And then just get some of that paint on there. And try to get most of it off. And then, this guy's a little hard to handle. And just kind of, it's not really working because it's still a little wet, but it's okay. We could do a different thing. So instead of doing that, what we can do is do the last step. And if you want to dry brush it later, you can dry brush it with that. But take a brown wash, this Agrax Earth shade, and then just take it to the model, and it will, it's a brown wash that will cover good and get in all those little cracks and stuff, and it will also settle down and just be fine. It'll kind of blend these colors a little bit. It's okay that it's not dry right now. Got kind of a lot on there. It's fine. It's dirt, it's mud, it's grime, and that's it. So that's gonna dry, but it'll be good once it's dry. But yeah, so that's how we paint the Guncannon and get wash all over us. But as always, everybody, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll catch you on the next one where we finish this the starter set with the gun tank. Later.